Hello, annyeonghaseyo. Ryan Walters here, along with Matthew Binns. We've sent Paul Neat and Scott Whitelock away. They're down trying to make sure that they can get into the press conference because Matthew, I was entertained. This one finished 3-3 between Team K-League and Juventus, but there are some people that are not going to be too happy heading down to that press conference.
No, they won't be. It was widely speculated, I believe it was actually even agreed, that Ronaldo would be playing for 45 minutes at least, and Juventus didn't play him. He didn't warm up. Perhaps there's an injury there, but he played all right on Wednesday night against Inter Milan in China. He's come to Korea and suddenly not playing. And you think that they could try and remedy this by bringing him on at half time and just saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't play." But it turned on. The fans were left in the dark, and to be honest, I think it's a Juventus decision. I don't think it's. I think Juventus were quite happy to break that contract. I don't think it cost them anything, and the fans. It's been a PR disaster. An absolute PR disaster for Juventus, and hopefully that doesn't affect the K-League too much.
Exactly. Hopefully this doesn't affect the K-League, because in the end, this wasn't a match the K-League put on. I feel like that's very important to stress here. This was organized by a third party. K-League agreed to host the game, and we'll break down a lot more of that on this week's podcast. We're not going to talk too long on that. I think we'll just say that, personally, I thought it was a very interesting experience here. There were a lot of fans that we don't see at K-League games here, and they were cheering every single sideways pass and mishandling of the ball from Juventus in the first little bit as they were trying to find their feet and get going, and people were going nuts, and then that kind of died down, and then they went nuts every time Ronaldo was on the screen, and that kind of died down, and then eventually when they realized he wasn't coming in, they started booing, and before the night was over, they started chanting Messi, Messi, Messi. So, like you say, I think it's
that was brilliant. That was the one thing that this game has achieved, ironically, is actually probably brought more people to siding with the K-League. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't be Maybe they won't be going to a game next week. There's a debate of how much these games actually have an impact on the league.
Right.
But for the most part, Team K-League played well. There was good players on the pitch from three different teams. You can go and see. You saw a great goal from Osmar. Saw Cecina, one of the best players in the K-League, get a goal. Do a fantastic celebration as well.
Absolute hero for the celebration. Doing the Ronaldo celebration in front of him.
Yeah. And then a great goal as well from Adam Taggart, who is on fire in the K-League at the moment, and is worth going to Suwon alone to watch. Three great goal scorers, but most of the team played well. There was hardly a player on the pitch where I was thinking, you shouldn't really be here. Park Ji-young. Yeah, I was going to say Park Ji-young. He just wasn't at the races today. He was voted in by the fans. The fans wanted to see him.
And they did.
They saw him.
And they saw what we see at FC Seoul for about 85 minutes every single week. But
yeah, let's take the positives here. The positives are the K-League scored 3 goals against Juventus. They were 3-1 up. They let the lead slip, but that was just the fact that they got a draw, and there were 2 good goals as well from Juventus. So 3-3. Everybody was entertained. People are disgruntled though because of the Juventus thing, but Team K-League should hold their heads high. There is some exciting talent in this league that were clearly on display today.
Absolutely, and I think that's the positive to take away from this, that I think K-League did play well. This is a team that's not a team. They had one practice session together. They had to deal with a lengthy delay today while waiting for Juventus to show up. Juventus was an hour late. They couldn't even manage to get here on time. Travel logistics and everything else, they were coming from China. Rumor has it they're flying out at 1 a.m. tonight.
They flew in this morning.
Yeah, it is. I can only imagine how those players feel. They must be exhausted. It's been a lot for them, but at the same time,
they've got commitments.
They do.
They've got commitments. There's financial commitments on the line here, and you have to honour these commitments. You're a professional European club with a massive fan base in Korea. There's no denying that. A lot of people have bought your shirts today, Juventus. There's a Juventus tent outside. People have been buying shirts, getting Ronaldo printed on the back. This was supposed to be a good bit of PR for Juventus, building their support in Asia, and it's backfired completely. This is only going to be negative in the press tomorrow, and it's an absolute. They came late, didn't look like they wanted to be here, didn't bring on Ronaldo, fled down the tunnel, and we're not very sure that we're going to even see them in the post-match.
Oh, I don't know if they'll do a press conference at all, and I expect them to just run through the mix zone, which is one of the reasons that we're here talking to you fine folks right now instead of running down. That's the downside of it from a K-League perspective. And again, we are mainly just focusing on the K-League perspective here because that's what we do. Juventus gets plenty of coverage. I don't think they need us talking about them. The positives to take out of this, and this is one of the things with these friendly matches like this where you put together an all-star team or a best 11 or whatever you're calling it for the week. And this is the same case in MLS where we see this a lot, where a team from Europe comes over, and if you win, then it's like, oh, well, it's their preseason and they were retired and it doesn't matter. And if you lose, it's like, oh, well, your league is crap, it doesn't matter. So like, I feel like a lot of times you're playing a game that you kind of can't win, but I think K-League did win tonight. I know it finished 3-3, but they put 3 past Juventus. Yeah. They were tired, they were jet lagged, whatever. K-League can only play the team that's in front of them, and they played extremely well. And I thought, like you said, there was just a lot of talent on display, and I think this is just an out-and-out win for K-League tonight, and it's unfortunate that I don't think that's where most of the focus is going to be.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's I don't got nothing really to add to that. I think the attention is not going to be in the right place, and it should be on.
Then let's put some of that attention on that. We do have a comment coming in here that Matt's going to lean up there and read.
Sorry, it's just
it's a little far away, so we have to. Oh, now it's gone. Sorry. We're streaming on a phone right now because the internet is way too spotty for us to do it on any other device. So we will read that question and we'll reply in the comments afterwards. But to look on the positive side of things, I thought there were a lot of K-League players that really stood out. We got to vote for the MVP for this one. I put in my vote for Osmar. Who was your standout? I mean, he opened the scoring by taking it from the halfway line and just booting it. Top corner, just a belter that we've seen him do before. We knew he had it in him, but to see him do it tonight on this stage in his home stadium in front of 60,000 people, just tremendous. And he was great throughout the match, intercepting, positionally sound. Everything was great from him. So he was my MVP of the night. Who did you have an eye on the whole time?
I have to first say I thought Osmar played really well, but I think it's going to be Cecina for me. I can't catch it. Unfortunately, I caught that too late. We've got to sort this out, really.
Yeah, we're going to work on it.
We'll work on it. But yeah, we'll get to you in the comments. I thought Cecina played fantastic, and he played amazing most of the match. And yeah, I think he rightly deserved the press vote for man of the match. But yeah, nothing to take away from Osmar as well. He also played splendidly well.
Yeah, and just. Yeah, again, I think it was a really good performance all around. Songbum Kun had a really good second half. Even though he let in 2 of the 3 goals, I still thought that he had some really great reaction saves. Positionally, he was all right. And I mean, again, it's Juventus. When they're going to turn it on and really try to go for it, I think they're going to find some joy and they're going to find the back of the net, and they did. But I thought Songbum could look pretty good. And yeah, well, we'll talk about this more during the podcast. But anyway, that's a very quick edition. If there's anything you want us to mention in the podcast or anything you'd like us to go over, get that in the comments below. But for now, any last words?
For life.
That sounded really daunting.
Well, I just hope that if you did enjoy the K-League and the K-League team, if you came in watching Juventus tonight and you did like what you see in the K-League, then go to a game. It's cheap.
Yep.
It's really easy to do, and I think the K-League footballers really genuinely appreciate the attention. It's not like the prima donnas who come over here from Europe and sit on the bench. And yeah, I think there's a league in this country that's entertaining. There's technically gifted players. If you like what you saw today from the K-League, go to a match.
Yeah.
We're probably preaching to the converted on our own channel, I admit, but that's the be-all and end-all of it.
Yeah.
The K-League played well. Go and watch them.
They did, and those were 3 quality goals. They score things like that every single weekend. It's not always that good, but it was pretty good tonight, and we can see those in league play. But for now, we're going to get downstairs and see if we can interview somebody before they run by onto the bus to catch their 1 a.m. flight. And, of course, we're going to talk to the K-League players because that's who we're here to see. Anyway, thanks so much for watching.